Welcome to part 12 of my Blender for Beginners complete tutorial series. If you haven't watched the previous parts, then definitely check out the tutorial playlist with the link in the description. So in this part, I'm going to introduce you to Blender's particle systems, and I'm going to show you kind of just the basics of particle systems, and then we'll be using the particle systems to add some fuzz on the scarf of the snowman. And if you'd like to purchase the finished project files of this tutorial, you can get that on my Gumroad store and Patreon page, and that's a great way to help support this channel. Some other great ways to help support the channel is by supporting the channel monthly on my Patreon page, and you can also check out my Gumroad store to purchase any of my products. Now, something that I'm not covering in this tutorial series is animation, but if animation is something that you're interested in learning more about, then I highly recommend checking out this animation course. P2 Design's Alive animation course is packed with tons of animation learning content. Great for beginner and intermediate Blender users. This course will teach you the basics of animation, adding keyframes, interpolation modes, using the timeline, graph editor, and there are also some beginner animation exercises in the course. The course also shows you how to make a walk cycle and has some other animation tutorials. Check out the course with the link in the description, and if you purchase the course through my affiliate link, you'll be helping to support this channel. Alright, so I'm now going to show you the basics of particle systems. So in the previous part, we were in the shading workspace, so I'll just click back here to go to the layout. And I'll hit the A key to select everything, and then I'll press H to hide everything for now. I'm also going to press Shift C just to center the 3D cursor back to the center. So to show you the basics of particle systems, I'm first just going to make a very basic particle simulation. So I'll press Shift A for the add menu, let's go to mesh, and I can just add a plane. Now to add particles, you can click over on this button here, and this is going to go to the particle properties. You can then click on the plus here to add new particles, and you can rename the particles right here. Now there are two types of particles. There is emitter and there is hair. So I'll be showing you both of them. First, we're going to be going over emitter. Now, if you press the space bar to play, let me just make the timeline a bit bigger. You can press the space bar to play, the particles are going to emit out of whatever object you have. Now right here, you can change the amount of particles. So if I want lots of particles, I can turn that up, or I can turn this down to make less particles. I can also change the seed here. So this seed value is just going to change where the particles are placed. Now there's also a start frame and an end frame. So if I wanted to turn the start frame maybe to like a 20, now if I go back to the starting and play this by hitting the play button, you can see the particles won't start to come out until frame 20. Then there's also an end frame, so I could just have it end at like frame 50. So now if I play through this, all of the particles are going to come out between frame 20 and frame 50. So you can see they all come out much faster and there's much more of them. Now there's also this lifetime, and this is how long the particles are going to be in the 3D scene. So if I just turn the lifetime to like 10, now if I go back to the starting and then I play this, you can see that they're only going to last for 10 frames. So they only fall that far. If I want them to last much longer and have a longer lifetime, I could turn this up to like 1,000, and now when I play this, you can see they're going to last much longer and they're going to continue to fall and fall down in the 3D scene. So the lifetime will be longer and they won't disappear for much longer. Now we can also open up this velocity here, and then there's this cool randomized value. So if I turn this randomized value up, now if I go back to the starting and play this, you can see that they're kind of randomly coming out at different angles. I can make it really random, and now you can see they're kind of flying out all randomly, so it kind of looks like they're popping out of the mesh and kind of shooting out at all different angles, but they eventually all fall down. Now I'm just going to turn the randomize back to 0, and if I want the particles to shoot out at a faster speed, I can turn up this velocity normal. So I could turn this up to like a 10, and now when I play through this, you can see the particles are shooting out, but then there is actually gravity in Blender which eventually pulls the particles back down. So if I rotate this plane over, now if I play this, you can see the particles are shooting out, and so they're kind of shooting out like a hose shooting water out. And so that velocity is pushing them out at a faster speed. So that's really cool as well to control the particles. Now right now, if I were actually to render the image, these particles wouldn't show up in the render. These little dots here are just showing you where the particles are, but the particles aren't actually being rendered as anything. So what I can do is go to the add menu, and for example, I could add an icosphere, and then let me just use the object context menu to shade the icosphere smooth. And then if I select this object again, I'm going to go down here and open up the render tab. Now on the render tab, I can choose an object. So first I want to click as render as, and I'm going to choose an object so it renders as an object. Then I can click on the eyedropper and I can just click on the icosphere. So now if I play this, you can see they're actually being rendered as an icosphere. So there is that icosphere there wherever the particles are. And then I can also change the scale so I can make the particles bigger or smaller. There's also a cool randomized scale. So if I turn up the randomized scale, then they're going to be different random sizes. So that's very cool as well. Now, what's also cool about particles is that you can make the particles collide with other objects. So if I go to the add menu, I could add another plane and I could scale the plane up and rotate that plane over. Now, if I play this, you can see it's going through the plane, but if I select the plane, I can go over here to the physics properties and I can add this collision physics. Now, if I go back to the starting of the timeline and play this, you can play the animation and you can see that they're actually going to bounce off the plane because they're colliding with it and it has collision physics. So that's just some of the basic settings of the particle settings. I'm now going to show you how to add hair. So as well as actually emitting objects with the particles, you can have little particles on objects which are going to look like hair, or in this case, we're going to make some fuzzy fabric. So I'm just going to select all these objects. We can hit X and just delete them. Then I can press Alt-H to bring back our scene. I'll press the period on the numpad to zoom into it. We can just go back here to frame 1. We're not actually going to be using the timeline anymore. So let's just zoom into our object, and I can just select the object here, which we want to add the particles to. So let's click on the plus here, make sure you're on the particles tab and click on the plus here. And then we can change this to hair instead of emitter. So now you can see that there is all this giant hair coming out of the scarf. Now the amount here, we can change this to have how much particles we want. For now, I'm just going to leave it at 1,000, but I'll probably turn it up later to add more fuzz. And then there's also the seed value, so you can change this if you want to change the location and kind of randomize the fuzz. Now there's also this hair length, and obviously this is way too big right now, so let's drag the hair length smaller. You can hold down the shift key as you click and drag that value, and I'm going to make the hair much smaller. And specifically, I'm going to go with a value of 0.0015, so 0.0015. I think that is a pretty good size so that the fuzz is just very small. Let's also hold down the Z button and move our mouse up into the rendered view so I can see what it's looking like. And also what I'm going to do is select the object, and then I'm going to shift and also select the light. Then I will press Shift H. So Shift H will hide everything else that's not selected, and that will just make the viewport a little bit faster so we can preview it in the rendered view. Now right now, if you look closely, you can see that this doesn't really look like fur. It almost looks like these little triangles, and that is because there is a bottom size and a top size. So the bottom size of the hair is way too thick, so we can change that. So let's go way down here and open up the hair shape, and then we'll scroll down. So there is the root and there is the tip. So if I make the tip bigger, it's going to make the entire thing thicker. So you can see if I bring that out, then the top of it will be thicker. But this diameter root, I can bring this down, and now you can see it's going to be really pointy. So it almost looks like there's a bunch of little triangles. So specifically, I'm going to go with like a 0.1. So 0.1 is much smaller, and you can see now there's just these little pokey particles. Now you can see there aren't very many particles. So if we wanted to, we could turn up this number. However, we're going to have to turn this number up really big to be able to have enough fuzz. So what I'm going to do is instead use this really cool children setting. So I can open up the children here, and I can change it from none to interpolated. And so this is going to add more particles for every particle which is already there. Now there is a display amount and a render amount. So the display amount, you can turn this down, and that way there won't be as many particles in the viewport, because if you have lots of particles, it can really slow down the viewport when you're previewing it. However, I'm going to turn it up to 100, so it's going to use 100% because I want to be able to see all of them. Now there's also the render amount, so if it's kind of laggy in your view, you could keep the display amount down, but then I'd recommend keeping the render amount at 100 so that it renders all of them. Now this still doesn't really look like fuzz because it isn't really random, and so I want to give it kind of a random shape. So we're going to open up this roughness value right here, and then we can go here to this random value, and we can turn this up to just a very small number. Let's just start with like a 0.1, and you can see if I zoom out, you can already see that 0.1 was way too much, so now it looks like some very furry fabric, and that's like way too fuzzy. So I'm going to turn the random to a very small number of 0.015. I think 0.015 is a pretty good size for this scene. So now you can see that we have this really nice fuzzy fabric, and if you zoom out, it looks much more fuzzy. When you're very close, it kind of looks like some vines or some grass or something because it's a little bit thick, but once you zoom out, when we're actually previewing the final render, that'll look much better. You can see it just looks kind of fuzzy now. Now there aren't quite enough particles, so I'm going to scroll back up here to the top, and I'm now going to turn up the number. Now again, if you turn this this number up too high, it might be really laggy and it might crash Blender, so don't turn this up too high. I'm going to go with a 2000 because I think 2000 is pretty good. You could turn this up even more, maybe even to like a 3000, but it kind of starts to get a little bit laggy. I'm just going to go with 2000, and then if that is too laggy for your viewport, then of course you can go here to the display amount and turn this down to a much smaller number so it won't be quite as laggy in your view. Now what's really cool about these particle hairs is that it's going to use the color from the place that it's coming out on. So you can see right here where's kind of the black areas, like right over here on this texture we added, there's black parts here, so that fuzzy fabric is going to be black. Then over here there's that little white area, so it's going to be white, and then over here it's red. So it really does make it look like the fabric is nice and fuzzy. So let's just press Alt-H to unhide everything now, and we can zoom out here and you can see it now looks nice and fuzzy. So our snowman can stay nice and warm in the winter. So let's press Ctrl-S again to save the project, and this will wrap it up for this part of the tutorial series. Now if you'd like to watch another tutorial on using the particle systems, then I recently created a video on how to create fireworks in Blender, and I use the particle system to create the fireworks. So that would be a great video to watch to get a little bit more experience with the particles. And I show you how to animate the particles and kind of have them shoot out, and we create some cool fireworks. So if you'd like to watch that tutorial, it's on my YouTube channel, and I'll have the link to that in the description. So that's going to wrap it up for this part. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're easily able to follow along, and thank you so much for watching. And in the next part, we're going to be doing some more scene setup. We're going to kind of add like a background object, like a background plane. We're also going to add a camera and just do a few more settings to set up this 3D scene. So when the next part is released, it's going to be right up there on the end screen, and I will leave the link in the video description. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.